vision, it is clear. A few videos ago, we talked about computers getting a new sense. The ability to scan and model 3D objects, but what about our senses? Hi, my name is Emily, and this is Blink Pop Chef. I mean, all you need for good virtual reality is just 1 part Google Street View Tracker walking you around the Galapagos or the peak of Everest, 1 part 3D reconstruction of coral reef, 1 part Oculus Rift, and a dash of 3D sensing. Right? Well, at the moment, computers are all about our eyes and ears. High-res screens pair with HD cameras and ever-increasing realism in computer-generated graphics, all enriched by 3-dimensional sound. But what about our other senses, all 5 to 8 of them depending on who you ask? Will computers ever have interfaces for smell or texture, balance, acceleration, or even temperature? Neuroscientist Shliman Bezmaya and his team at the Department of Organismal Biology and Anatomy at the University of Chicago are researching not just how to replace the physical capacities of an amputated arm, but how to replicate the sensations that arm would have sent back to the brain. Sensations like pressure, heat, and texture made from decoding and replaying patterns of brain activity. Once you figured out a recipe for interfacing with all of our senses, immersive virtual reality will let us not only recreate and explore invented environments like alien planets, but also recreate Earth's beaches, deserts, and redwood forests, like this one. And since these digital copies will be as accessible in the future as watching this video is today, plane travel and commuting will slow, and traipsing around fragile ecosystems will be left to scientists. As sensory integration improves, food for pleasure may also migrate online as well. After all, in virtual reality, you can eat as many bacon cheeseburgers as you want while allowing your physical body to thrive on a scientifically regimented, micronutrient-rich, anti-cancer, anti-aging vegan diet. That's 2 of the top 5 causes of climate change replaced by virtual reality. Reducing global travel and industrial livestock, leaving farmland to grow human food instead of feed. So while there is a huge jump in complexity from the current sensory integration technology, like the haptic feedback in your controller, to feeling the sand between your toes, or even breathing simulated lungfuls of cool, moist air, this fully immersive, travel-replacing virtual reality is, at least according to many futurists, possible as soon as 2040. So before these environments get here, let's think about why virtual reality has arisen at all. In 1994, and yes, books from the 90s are still relevant, Steven Pinker wrote a book called The Language Instinct, outlining the evolved human capacity for words and meaning. Okay, all of the names of all of the things. And recently on Krista Tippett's podcast On Being, Stanford mathematician Kevin Delvin came on and described mathematics as the flip side of Pinker's language coin.
Everyone's interested in language one way or another, be we language mavens or just interested in listening to the radio or reading or novels or things. You know, language is a fundamental part of what we are. So if you can start the mathematical journey by turning mathematics into an analysis of language, everybody's on your side.
Language and math are both rooted in the same human capacity to describe the world around us in increasingly precise and even conceptual ways. I'd like to propose another pairing of fields dependent on the same human capacities: physics and virtual reality. We, everyone, you and I have the ability to model the world around us. We create everything from maps to standard models to help us understand the big picture, or in the case of quantum physics, the extra tiny little picture. But accurate models don't just teach us about the world around us, they also increasingly allow us to control it. Our model of quantum physics, for example, allows us to create quantum computers. And we're creating digital simulations of our sensory environment, only this time we'll have more control. But what do you think? Are physics and virtual reality 2 sides of the same coin? And will virtual reality satisfy our need for control over the environment? And as always, thank you for watching, and get curious.
Is the show really over?
My husbands are watching! But will computers ever have interfaces for our other senses? Like
smell, texture, balance, or acceleration.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And if that's not interesting, I literally don't know what to interest you with, because that's the coolest thing, like, ever. Like, seriously, it's the coolest thing. Get on board.